Hi, this is Michelle Kasky from Homeschool-Your-Boys.com, and today I would like to talk to you about a problem that I think a lot of us have, and it's not just those of us in the homeschool community, but it's probably everyone who lives in a first world country, and that is whose voice or whose voices should we be listening to? Let's face it, there are tons of people who are vying for our attention. There are bloggers like me. There are podcasters. There are authors. There are newscasters. There are pastors, friends, family, kids. So many people that are trying to get our attention. And in the midst of all of this fray, how in the world do we ever figure out who we should be listening to? I've actually got a few tips that I think might help. There are 3 things that I try to filter everything through before I decide if it is something that I should listen to or something that I should turn off. The first thing is, does this person have a similar worldview to my own? Sometimes in the busyness of life, we don't think about where people are coming from when they are talking to us, but people's worldview makes a huge difference in how they are going to present information to us, and also the advice that they're going to give us with what we should do with the information they're giving to us. So I feel that it's super important to at least know the worldview of the people where you're getting your information. It's even better if we share a similar worldview, or are at least getting information from people who aren't antagonistic toward our worldview. The next criteria I like to use is if we are getting information from people who like to present different solutions, different unique solutions, people who acknowledge that we are all complex, we are all unique and different, and we have different priorities and different missions in life and different reasons for being here on this planet. So if you're getting information from people who acknowledge that and who realize that there's more than one right way to do things, that is someone I'm much more likely to listen to than someone who is saying that this is the way things should be done, period, and they're very strict about that and think that all people should view things exactly the same way and do things exactly the same way. In the homeschool community, that would be people who say your child should learn how to read at this age, your child should do algebra at this age, all children should act like this. We're all so complicated. We've all got different histories, we've got different environments, we have different abilities and disabilities, and I think that it's important to get our information from people who are going to acknowledge that and not be so rigid in what they're trying to get us to expect from ourselves and from our families. Another really important criteria that I use is to listen to the voices that are encouraging you, voices that are helping you to see all the possibilities, that are helping to ignite your imagination, voices that are helping you to propel yourself forward rather than making you feel overwhelmed or discouraged or depressed. Let's face it, there's so much negativity in this world. If we listen to all those voices that are trying to get in and trying to convince us of things, and it's making us feel less than, then we need to turn those voices off. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, if my voice is discouraging you or making you feel overwhelmed, turn my voice off. It's important to listen to advice and encouragement, and people who've been there, done that, that can be super helpful. But if you find yourself in a stage of life where you are struggling because you have so much information that is being thrown your way, then you're going to need to be selective. The other thing is, not only is this voice discouraging you, but if this voice is making you feel bad about your kids or your husband or your family or the way that you do things, turn that voice off. We need to learn to dwell on the positive and see the positive in ourselves, in our family, in our children. And if we're constantly feeling bad about the way our kids are performing or who they are as a person, that is not going to be beneficial for anyone. So whose voice should we be listening to? Obviously, number one, I'm a Christian, and the number one voice you should be listening to is God and the Holy Spirit, who will direct you to do what it is He wants you to do in this life. That being said, listening to certain human voices can be very beneficial. People who have been there, people who can help you to navigate through some of the more difficult stages of parenting or homeschooling. But please don't allow yourself to be in a situation where you are listening to people who are telling you that you or your children are less than, or that you can't do this, or that something you're doing is wrong, because they don't know your kids, they don't know you, and they don't know your situation. So anyway, hopefully that is helpful to you. And again, this is Michelle Caskey from Homeschool-Your-Boys.com, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.